What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It has been a long time since I've come out and done a video. Ever since school got out, I've been really busy. I've been on patrol working. I've been working nights, so that's really been putting a damper, I guess you could say, on my schedule, because a lot of the days when I'm off, I'm usually asleep, trying to recover from working 2 days of nights, 3 days of nights, or whatever it may be. And I just haven't really found the time to come out making videos or go out fishing. Not to mention, we've had crazy weather. I think for like a week straight, like it was just non-stop rain. So back in June, we did our summer vacation, went to Cape Canaveral, Florida. Awesome trip. We had an awesome time. When we left here, it was raining. So it rained like that whole week. And when we got back, we were still getting a lot of rain. So there were days where I couldn't even go out and just do maintenance on the boat because it was raining so much. Here recently, we just got back from another trip where we went to Minnesota to visit my wife's family. Her grandmother has turned 94, so it was pretty cool to go up there and be with her for that trip. Unfortunately, before that, at our family reunion, I kind of got sick. One of my little nephews, who's a baby, had that virus, that hand, foot, and mouth virus, and I ended up catching it. It's kind of funny, a virus that normally don't affect most adults, and yet I would be the one to get it, and got it pretty bad. So right now I'm kind of locked down at the house. Can't go do anything other than come out here to the shop. So I might come out here and make some lures or something, or what I'm doing now, making a video. So since I was so busy in June, I didn't get to it. I figured I would get to it now. Make sure I have the right bag, or yeah. So nope, that one's. So here we go. This right here is my June Monsterbass bag. I didn't come out and do a video because, like I said, I was just so busy, I didn't even get to it. So we're going to try to dive in and do this video real quick. So we're going to pan down real quick. There we go. All right. So, as always, this is cool. So, on this little deal here, it is for the bass forecast, where you get weather reports. It even shows you the changes in the water that you're going to be fishing. So it helps you, if you can't get out and pre-fish, these will actually help you determine what areas you want to fish based on the information that's coming in, as well as whenever you're on the water, it will help you determine where you want to go if there's been any changes to your water. And then I like this. You know where that came from, guys. Make bass fishing great again. Okay. Then you have your booklet talking about all the summer fishing. So a lot of great products in here. Check out Monsterbass and their Monsterbass Vault tackle system. So let's see here. Let's see what other lures they talk about. Okay. Not a whole lot of lures in the book this time. Well, no, I'll take that back. They've got quite a few. Simple Cajun crawfish bull. Here is a recipe for you guys if you want to do your own crawfish bull. I love some crawfish. I don't have a cooker to cook crawfish, so I usually just go out somewhere and get some crawfish. So we're going to jump into a few of these lures, starting off with the month of June. So as I mentioned in a previous video, Monsterbass is doing a testing phase. Every month there's going to be a lure in your bag, if you get the Platinum series, that you need to that you can go out and test it, and then on that lure there's a QR code for you to scan so you can input your information and your feedback on that lure. And this one is a hollow body frog. No particular company. So again, I don't know if you guys can see because of the glare, but there's the QR code on there for you to scan to give your feedback. So we got a popping frog. 60 millimeters is the length. Let's see what else it can tell us. So that's about it. Okay. So pretty good on the skirt. On the legs, you can trim those up to make it walk a little bit easier. Just feeling it, it does have a nice soft body, which is really important when you're fishing a topwater frog like this one, or the walking style frog. And I'll explain the difference real quick. So the popping frog, as you can see, has this concave mouth, and that is for each time you pop your rod tip down, that catches that water and spits water and makes a gurgling sound, which is going to call those fish. The color, really good color, especially if you got some brim around, some brim or some bluegill. A lot of times people actually mistaken fishing a frog thinking that you were trying to imitate a frog. Sometimes these frogs, when the fish are looking up, can look like a injured bluegill or an injured brim on the top of the water. So that's kind of what you're imitating. But this soft body, if you guys can see this, if you can imagine, my finger and thumb is a bass's mouth that just came up and hit this thing. When they close their mouth down, that right there exposes those hooks, which is going to help get a really, really good hookup. So you don't want a hollow body frog that's where the plastic is too stiff, because it's going to be hard for them to collapse that down and get you a good hook set. So that's really good there. Those hooks, I mean, I kind of stuck myself there just doing that demonstration. So really good lure from what I can see. You won't really be able to tell how good the lure is until you can actually get it out on the water. Unfortunately for me, I'm not going to be able to do that for a while until I am no longer sick. So unfortunately, I don't get to go out and play with this new lure, but it looks really good. Looks really, really good. So just be on the lookout for that, or I guess you can say I hope you guys have had fun testing that lure out. If you got one of these in the month of June. If you did, please leave a comment. Let me know what you guys thought about that lure and how well it worked for you. Did you catch anything with it? Okay, moving on, we've got propeller jig heads for summer bass fishing. So let me see if we got anything like that. Okay, nothing jig head or with any kind of propeller or anything like that. So I will be moving on to a different lure that is in the book. Okay, topwater walking baits. Right here, I love these baits. This is from Bait Labs. Let's see here. Okay, so we have a Bait Lab heavy hitter. It's 100 millimeters. Of course, it's a topwater lure. Bone chartreuse. So that white color right there, I don't know if you guys can see that. That white color is bone. But then right there towards the nose, if you can see where my finger is at, it has that chartreuse, which is, again, imitating a bluegill or a brim. And of course, you know, a walking bait topwater, you want to twitch your rod tip down. The faster you twitch, the more action, or I guess you can say the faster you're going to walk. But you also have to remember, fishing this lure is similar to fishing a jerkbait. You won't slack in your line. If your line is too tight, then you're just going to be pulling that lure straight. So with that slack in the line, when you pull, not really pull, when you twitch it down and you've got slack in the line, that's going to make that thing go like this. And then as you reintroduce slack into it and give it another twitch, it does this. That's called that walking the dog action. The faster you do it, you're going to make that thing bounce back and forth like this. If you slow it down a little bit, then it's going to dart this way and then dart back this way. But you want to change up the cadence on this. Basically, you hear a lot of anglers say it. You've heard me say it on a lot of my videos. Let the fish tell you what they want. For you guys that might be fishing with a live scope, if you can see the fish are reacting to your lure, but they're not committing to it, it could be because either the color, the size, or your cadence. If you switch up your cadence, if you have a slow cadence and you can tell those fish aren't reacting to it, or they're noticing it, but they're not really committing to it, try speed up your cadence. That erratic action might actually make them bite. Vice versa. If you see that they're coming, but then they're not committing, if you're going too fast, slow it down a little bit. That might be that subtle little pop that makes them commit to it. But I love throwing pencil baits like that. Topwater walking baits. I love them. They're awesome. Okay, as far as in the book, that was the last lure that I had in the book. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Look right here. Cincos in June. Do I have any Cincos? I don't have any Cincos. But I will say this. A Cinco, your Cincos, your Ochos, whatever, lure you're using. A stick bait, basically. Not a whole lot of action. They're very subtle. So sometimes in the summer, the fish aren't looking for a whole lot of action and commotion. Sometimes they want something that's just very calm. And so those stick baits can do that, whether you fish it a Nico rig style, whether you fish it a wacky style, or even a Texas rig. Something that's just, if you're fishing at Texas rig, something that's hitting the bottom, and then when you hop it up, something that just comes up and down. Not a whole lot of action and appendages going crazy is what you need to entice those fish. So stick baits are always a good choice, not just in the summer, year round. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about what we have here is a company called Bass Mooch Baits. Okay, shooter worm. My boy blue is the color they're calling this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a pack of 8. Not sure what size, maybe 6-inch worm. Okay, right off the bat, these worms feel a little dry. So I would probably, it's got some garlic scent. I can smell that. But they're not super oily, which isn't a bad thing. But it's got the little curly tail right there, so a little bit of action. I would probably throw this on a Texas rig with maybe a 1/4 ounce. You could go smaller, and you could either swim this back to the boat, so fish it as a swimming worm, or you could also, again, 1/4 ounce and pitch this. That little bit of action from that tail it could draw in a lot of bites, and the color is awesome. That bluish purple tint is a really good color, especially in the summertime. You're fishing down deep, so good lure choice right there. Okay, some of my stickers are getting a little messed up. We have here some Vicious Fishing 4-inch candy crawl, black and blue, and this is a pack of 7. Let me get one of these out. Okay, so that right there, I love the way that looks. I love fishing crawl baits. Judging by this size, I would probably throw this with a 3/0 hook. And Texas rig, Carolina rig, throw this on the back of a jig or a chatterbait. Really good lure choice. I would probably flip that as a standalone bait, but that's just me because I like to do that a lot. Again, black and blue, really good color choice at this time of year. Pretty much year round, you can't go wrong with that. Okay, here we have a Arc J110. This is a jerk bait, and like I was saying a minute ago about that the topwater bait, you want to twitch your rod tip down. Make sure you have slack in the line. That's what's going to give it its good erratic action. Again, if you are fishing with live scope or any of those, pay attention to the fish and how they're reacting to your lure. You might need to slow down your cadence. You might need to speed up your cadence, whatever the case may be. But jerk baits are really good year round. Typically, spring and summer when the water is warming up, you want to use a little bit of a faster retrieve. I would probably say the fall, medium speed on the retrieve. The winter, you really want to slow it down. And when I say slow it down, I'm talking you throw it out there, probably reel it down a little bit into the water, and then give it your rip it or twitch, and then let it pause, and then twitch, and then let it pause, and then you might want to go twitch, and then let it pause. You really want to slow down that cadence, retrieving it back to the boat. So just be mindful of that. Okay, right here we have a Monsterbass, what's called a Mad Max, another topwater lure. If any of you have ever fished the popper, the originator of these topwater popping baits, that's exactly what this is. This is just the Monsterbass version with their trademark katana red hook that imitates blood, so you're imitating a injured bait fish. This is a 2.5 inch size, so good small profile. The color, I really love this color, blue chrome. Blue chrome is a tried and tested color on a lot of these lures, so it's a good shad pattern for lures. Like I said, it's been tested many times on different lures, everything from lipless crankbaits to your topwaters. Good lure choice, good color choice too. Okay, and then in this bag we also had a thing of Trilene, Berkeley Trilene fishing line. This is your 6-pound low vis green. It's not fluorocarbon, so I'm going to say this is probably some monofilament. This would be good to put on like your kids' rodder reels as a beginner, maybe fishing for some panfish or something like that. If you do catch a bass, this is 6-pound test, play that fish. Don't try to horse him in. You know, you want to take your time with that so that way you don't lose them. 2 stickers. This one, the Monsterbass, but it's the Marlboro cigarette logo, so it's pretty cool. Then you got this guy, look like Bigfoot out fishing, got his swag on and everything, so that's also pretty cool. So that is all that was in the June Monsterbass bag, and right now I'm going to transition to give you guys the July bag. So I'm going to swap bags. Okay, and now this is the July bag. So again, as always, you have your bass forecast card with the QR code to scan there to download that to your phone. Our booklet, the card that you get when they go live on YouTube on Thursdays at 7 p.m. They call out that number there. You win all kind of prizes. Okay, this month's product testing. We have a small square bill. We have it's called a Headbanger 4 crankbait, size 2.2, comes in at 3/8 ounces, dives down to 4 feet. So it's a square bill crankbait. The pattern that's on there is pretty cool. It's called a ghost crawl. Okay, If I can get this one out real quick. Okay, so calling this one Ghost Crawl. Okay, I know you guys can see that crawl pattern, but I don't know if you can tell, but it's a translucent body, so you can see through it. My goodness, this thing is stuck. I'm gonna have to work on that. But again, small crankbait. Looks like it's got one rattle in there, so give it a little bit of sound. Really good for that shallow running crankbait. Banging that off of some of the cover. Be careful around the grass that can get hooked on there, so just make sure you are aware of that, ripping it through that grass. But cool looking little lure right there. From the looks of it, like I said, this is the Headbanger 4. They have 4 sizes. The Headbanger 4, 6, 8, and 10, all varying in sizes and weight and the depths that it dives down to. So be on the lookout for more of that bait right there. Okay, let me try to find some other baits that they talk about in the booklet here. Best ways to fish worms in the summer. You got Texas rig, Carolina rig, wacky rig, Nico rig, and drop shot. So again, right now they're talking about some of the different ways of, your different ways of fishing worm style baits. So good information right there. My favorites is Texas. I mainly catch them on Texas. I've caught some on Carolina before. I'm still working on the drop shot as a way of catching. Nico and wacky, I don't do that one a whole lot. I just don't ever pick up my spinning reels all that much. So I need to transition to doing that. Let's see here. So we got shallow water crankbait. So let me see what we got in here for that. I don't have any other crankbait other than the one that I just talked about. And that was it. So here we go. First thing I'm going to pull out here is we got a swim bait hook. This is a matte black tungsten bladed swim bait hook. Has a 3/0 mustad hook, and it comes in at a 1/8 ounce, and it's got the small little blade down there on the bottom. So a little bit of flash, a little bit of vibration, works really good with all of your swim bait style baits. Right here I have a Razor Custom Tackle Pro Swim Jig, black and blue, which is pretty cool because I just showed y'all in the last month's bag we had those black and blue crawl. This would pair up really good with this. And I love throwing swim jigs because it almost fishing swim jigs is almost dummy proof. For me, I usually put some kind of a swim bait style lure on the back of mine as a trailer. You throw them out and then you reel them back in. Throw them around the cover, bump them off of stuff. You're usually going to get you a couple good bites doing that. Let's see here. Yeah, that's about all it is. So really good lure choice right there. Another sticker. This looks like the Coors bottle right there. Seems that Monsterbass is starting to use some of the cigarette and beer brand logos for some of their new stickers. Okay, so here I have some Grande Bass fishing lures. These are 3.75 kickback shad. So like I said, these, I would throw this on the back of that swim jig. This color is called electric shad, or you could take this hook, throw it on one of those, and I'm telling you, this is that is a dynamite setup right there. Guaranteed to catch you lots of fish, big fish. Like I always have a swim bait like that tied on. Whenever I go, it's always on the deck. It's one of my go-to setups for when, you know, times are getting rough. I need a fish. I will pick that up and throw it out and usually get me one or two. Okay, we have some Vicious Fishing worms. These are some stick baits. 5-inch pro stick, chartreuse pepper. So again, fishing this Texas rig, Carolina rig. Wacky rig is where you would hook it like this. That's how you would hook it, and as you're twitching it along, it just bounces. Nico rigging. So you would still put your what am I trying to say? Your O-ring on this lure. Only when you Nico rig, what you want to do is you're going to put some kind of a nail weight in the tip here, in the head of the worm. And now that's going to cause your worm to sit on the bottom like this. And now what you want to do is take that wacky rig hook, and instead of hooking it through the body, you want to run it up through that O-ring like this. If my pinky was the hook, you'd want it sitting up like this. And then you'd want to twitch that along, bouncing it on the bottom. And whenever the fish bite, your hook is already pointing up, so you can get that good hook set in the mouth. That chartreuse color with that black flake in it is a dynamite looking color right there. Guaranteed to catch you some fish. Guaranteed. And then we have another Vicious Fishing lure. This is their spinnerbait called the Shredder. Comes in at a 3/8 ounce. It has a willow leaf and a Colorado blade on it. White chartreuse. So again, this is another good shad imitating bait. And you can pair that with these swim baits. I don't know if you guys can see that, but seeing how at the bottom here on that skirt, it's almost the same color as this. So that would pair up really, really good as a trailer, or any other style trailer that you would want to put on there. Also, with that extra long skirt, if you don't want to put a trailer, I would recommend putting a trailer hook on there. So that way, if the fish are just nipping at the skirt, you still got a chance of catching those fish. And then the last lure that I'm going to talk about, well, in this one, they threw in this sticker that's also a ruler. So whether it's on your cooler or on the carpet of your boat, it's a 12-inch ruler. You can put that down on there and then measure your catch, especially for those tournament anglers where it says that your fish has to be at least 12 inches to keep. This is a good thing to use to measure those fish to make sure you're keeping legal fish. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is a lure that has kind of taken the fishing industry by storm. This one is Brothers Baits Tournament Ready Tackle, and it's these little tumbleweed baits. This one is called Loaded Dice War Eagle. The color looks like a green pumpkin, but it's just these little boxes, but it's got all these little limbs hanging off of it, and it is taken over. It's something new, something the fish hasn't seen before. I don't know what it could look like. Some kind of little creature or something that might be in the water that apparently fish eat. And so these little deals here, this one, like I said, are called Loaded Dice. I believe Strike King has come out with one that they call Tumbleweed. But these things, I've seen them fished online. Drop shot is one style of fishing them. I believe some people have thrown them just tied up on a wacky hook. So I'm pretty anxious to try to get out and use those. They look pretty neat. And like I said, watching the pro anglers using them online, and they're getting a ton of bites with them. So I'm anxious to get out there and try to throw one and see what I can do. So that's all in this month's box. That was it for the July. Let me pan up real quick, guys. There we go. Okay, so that is it. That was me trying to get caught up on my June and July Monsterbass bags. I am sorry, guys, that I have been just so busy. I have not been able to get you guys some good content. I look forward to trying to get on the gun range to get some content. Guys, please drop comments. Let me know what you guys think about these two bags. Drop some comments. Let me know what else you guys would want to see. Make sure you're hitting that like button if you like the videos. Make sure you smash the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell and click on all, so that way you get notified every time I put out my videos. Share the videos, and like always, comment on the videos. That way, get the word out and hopefully get this thing growing again. I have had a few subscribers join, so I really love to see that. So if you guys could do me a solid, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, share the videos, and comment on the videos, and hopefully I can get some more videos out to you guys. That's all I got. Thank you for your time. Hope to see you all in the great outdoors.